I'd woken up in my dorm room. It was a stormy night around 4 in the morning, and still quiet dark, though there was a yellowish-orange light from a street lamp outside. The window at the foot of my bed had been left cracked open and was banging in the wind. I got up to shut it and stumbled back to bed. Lying on my right side facing the wall, with my eyes closed, the hallucination began. I felt as if a pair of slightly clammy hands with thick fingers were gently stroking my face, my lips in particular, then my eyes and ears, and prodding at my mouth. Eventually, this feeling gave way to prickling pins and needles all over my body, and I felt very cold, and I had a strange buzzing feeling, almost as if I were being electrified or covered in static shocks. At the same time, a heavy ringing began in my ears, very loudly and in an even tone. It was at this point I got the sensation that there was someone else in the room very close to me. I was able to open my eyes and felt the weight pressing down on the left side of my ribs and shoulder. The light from the street was blocked by shadows, and I realized the shadow had a solid form. A squat creature with cat-like features and claws, though humanoid and compact. It was about 3 or 4 feet tall, sitting on top of me. It had pointed ears and pale yellow eyes with no pupils. I couldn't distinguish its face beyond the outline and its glowing eyes. I knew it was a demonic force of some sort, and I tried to scream. I felt the air leaving my throat, but only heard a faint whisper. I don't know how long this lasted, but eventually the apparition was gone, and I was able to move. I got up and turned on my bedside light and sat up awake until dawn. I have a few different sleep paralysis demons and one sort of sleep paralysis guardian angel. The demon ones are the usual shadowy figures standing over me or by my bedroom door. The worst one was while I was lying on my side with the back to the door. It felt like someone got into bed behind me, under the covers, and put their arm around my waist. Then it felt like they were cuddling me, and I could feel the breath on my neck. It felt like they were there for about half an hour. All this time I was trying not to show that I'm panicking, because it feels like I'm getting spooned by a skeleton with claws. It was only about the second, maybe third time I've had sleep paralysis, so I nearly had a heart attack. This thing felt like it was moving in closer and closer to kiss me behind the ear. Then it whispered, "Not yet. You're not ready yet. I'll come back for you when you are." To me, it sounded disappointed and excited. Felt like it was slightly telling me it meant that it was coming back when I was about to die. My sleep paralysis guardian angel was a weird experience. I've been getting sleep paralysis on and off for about 18 months by this point, so I could usually tell straight away when it was happening. At first, I thought it was the usual demon things beside my bed. But when I looked properly, I realized I could clearly see a man kneeling next to my bed and smiling at me. It wasn't a creepy smile, more like a parent coming to check on their child. He looked like he was dressed in a 50s style suit and hat. He didn't say anything, although I got the sense he was letting me know everything was alright and he'd look after me. I started experiencing sleep paralysis early in junior high. It stopped roughly 4 or 5 years ago. I'm going to tell you about the last 2 episodes I ever had. It happened 2 nights in a row, and Both nights my ex had actually experienced something while awake during my episodes. During my episode the first night, I had seen my usual shadow figure watching me, crouched at the foot of my bed. My ex had woke up and jumped out of bed, running out of the room, which had woke me up. I asked him about it, worried that maybe someone had tried to break into the apartment. He just said he would talk to me about it in the morning, and he ended up refusing to tell me, so I let it go. The next night during my episode, I see the usual, except it was almost midway up the side of my bed, still crouching. My ex wakes up again during this episode and gets out of bed calmly. My episode ends and I wake up shortly after when he was getting back into bed. I asked him what he was doing, and he said he had seen a tall shadow come from the wall and hover over me like it was going to harm me. And he got up and started talking to it, telling it that it wasn't welcome and needed to leave, which prompted me to ask him if that's what had scared him out of bed the night before. He said it was, and I told him about both of my episodes. He knew I suffered sleep paralysis and had always assumed what I was seeing were just nightmares or night terrors. But since he told this thing to go away, I've never again had an episode. Is it just me, or does it sound like something had attached itself to me for several years? Maybe my bad childhood and all the negativity had invited something, and I never realized it until my ex shooed it off. This may not seem all that paranormal, but for me, I consider it to be. I don't remember how long ago it started. I'm bad with time like that. Let's say a year and a half ago. I was reading up on shadow people, astral projection, and sleep paralysis a lot. Constant reading. I was interested in it all, so quite coincidentally, around that time I started experiencing it myself. Sleep paralysis, that is. The first time was dreadful. I couldn't move and I had no idea what was happening. I felt watched and scared. I started to panic and sweat. The feeling of being observed grew stronger, so I fought the inability to move as hard as I could till I gasped out and was able to sit up. Nothing was there. The feeling gradually left. Terrifying, yes, but it got much worse. I experienced it a few more times, which weren't too bad. I just couldn't move. Then we get to the scariest experience of my life. My bed faces a dresser with a TV sat on top, and on the wall, right of that, is a closet that had the door open. My bed is on the left wall. I woke up on my back, which was strange considering I always sleep on my stomach, and again I couldn't move. Looking against the wall, I see black tendrils start to emerge from behind the TV, and the shadows created by the open closet door. They reached out towards me, and a sound of white noise filled my ears. Then the room started distorting, shifting and moving, different objects moving forward or going back, and the tendrils kept reaching out. It was very frightening to say the least, but I didn't panic this time. It's hard to describe, but I knew it wouldn't hurt me, based on the first bad experience. Eventually the distortion stopped and the tendrils receded. After that, I had experienced the paralysis many times. Each time I would be calm and try something new. First I could blink, then move my fingers, then my arms, and finally I could make small vocalizations. Often I would pass out on the floor and wake up to find my mom looking at me and I couldn't move. She freaked out, but I explained my situation and she ended up being okay with it. The last time, I woke up to someone watching me. I don't think it was my mother either. I woke up in my bed on my stomach like normal and couldn't move. Semi-normal. I can hear someone walking in my room. Even less normal. I could hear them talking, saying, "He is sleeping. I hope it's my mom." I regained my ability to move and go downstairs, and I asked her if she needed me. She said no. "You weren't just in my room?" I asked. She said no. Okay, it must have just been my sister who came up from the basement. I asked her if she had been in my room at all. She said no. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video today. I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if this is your first time here, and make sure to give this video a like. Also, let me know in the comments below what you think about sleep paralysis. Do you think it's just dreams, a medical condition, or something actually paranormal? Personally, I think that it would have to be a mix of all three by case. But let me know what you think, or if you've ever had any sleep paralysis experiences. I'll be back real soon with another video. Until then, stay tuned.